Let's start with the state of free speech in the UK. Keir Starmer again assured the world that the UK values free speech.
Can you discuss the importance of free speech today?
Well, free speech is very important. I don't know if you're referring to any place in particular. Perhaps they are, but
we've had free speech for a very, very long time here, so we're very proud about that.
But tell me about the UK's Online Safety Act. We've got something similar happening right here in Australia. We're told, like in the UK, it's all about keeping children safe. Is that how you see it?
By the way, that answer that Keir Starmer gave there, I mean, it's just yet more robotic Starmer. That's exactly what he said the other week in the Oval Office when reporters also asked about the free speech problem in the UK. And he said in that same robotic way, we've had free speech for a very long time in the UK. Yeah, well, it can be dying on his watch. Just because you've had something for decades, indeed centuries, doesn't mean that it survives as a force of nature unless it's protected and defended in this generation. And Keir Starmer's government has decided that a priority in almost any real life situation is not to deal with the real life problems that occur, but instead to crack down on online content and much more.
Free speech, long held as a cornerstone of British democracy, is facing one of its most significant threats in modern history. That's the stark warning from best-selling author and commentator Douglas Murray, who argues the UK government is allowing this fundamental liberty to erode under the guise of safety and social harmony. Speaking with journalist Rita Panahi, Murray didn't mince words. He took direct aim at Prime Minister Keir Starmer, describing the Labour leader's recent comments about Britain's proud free speech tradition as robotic and hollow. Starmer, when pressed on concerns about censorship, simply said, "We've had free speech for a very long time in the UK." For Murray, that isn't good enough. Just because you've had something for decades, indeed centuries, doesn't mean it survives unless it's actively defended. He said, Murray believes this complacency has opened the door to legislation like the UK's Online Safety Act, a bill sold to the public as a way to protect children from harmful internet content. But in reality, he says, it's being used to suppress legal speech and intimidate citizens. People who have said nothing illegal are being visited by police for tweets, Instagram posts, Facebook comments, he warned. It's a lamentable affair. Even more concerning, according to Murray, is how any opposition to the bill is portrayed as morally suspect.
Starmer government and Starmer himself pretend that all these online harm stuff merely has to do with issues of child pornography and so on, and that anyone who's pushing back against the online harms bill must be therefore on the side of child pornography. No, that sort of filth is already illegal.
They pretend the bill is only about child pornography, he explained. And if you question it, you're cast as being on the wrong side of that issue. But that material is already illegal. This bill goes much further. He also criticized the trend of politicians blaming online content for real-world problems like terrorism instead of addressing the root causes. They can't deal with the real world, so they go after how people react online, he said. Murray's message is clear. Unless this generation takes a stand, the UK could lose one of its most cherished freedoms, not to a tyrant, but to a culture of silence, distraction, and fear of offense. Free speech isn't self-sustaining, he warned. It only survives if we fight for it.